Okay, Mr. Accomando,
Present.
Ms. Borelli.
We lose her?
Ms.
She's on
Borelli,
mute.
She's here.
Present.
thank you.
I'm
Ms. Ainello,
Present.
Mr. Laurentino,
Present.
Ms. Mahoney,
Here.
Mr. Quinn,
Here.
Ms. Robinson,
Here.
Ms. Roloff,
Here.
Ms. Otterelli.
Present.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the
To the
flag
flag
of the
of the
United States of America
and
and to the republic
for
for
which
which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
with
justice.
liberty
Justice for
and
all.
justice for all.
Thank you all very much for coming tonight. We will start, got to do my statement. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please be advised that you should be turned to mute on your Zoom, and the business administrator, Mr. Crotty, will turn on your mic when it is time for public comment if you wish to speak. May we have the superintendent's report, please?
Good evening. Thank you all for coming tonight. I wanted to just share with you. So today was one of our November days where we are celebrating the month of November and doing gratitude activities. So the elementary school participated in them last week and the middle high school participated in them this week. And it's something that our SEL committee has been working on. They're also looking for students who are interested in volunteering and participating in more SEL activities. It's also the launch of our live streaming instructional week. And it might not, probably couldn't have come at a better time with the rise in illnesses that we are seeing across the state, across the nation, and in the immediate area, including in our school community for COVID. Having this, having the live streaming of the classes will allow us, should we need to, or should an individual student or teacher need to, transition to purely virtual work in a moment's notice. So we're looking forward to this week. We have been getting ready for it the past week and a half. It's taken a lot of support from the technology staff and from the leadership team and from teachers who are very comfortable with the technology, helping each other. So we're very grateful that everybody has stepped up, and we're excited about tomorrow. So, and that is the end of my report. I'll have a longer report for Wednesday.
Thank you very much. We'll go to the business administrator's report. Mr. Crotty?
I don't have a report for this evening, probably a couple items on Wednesday. I'll comment during the maybe the committee report for some budget finance facility items. But other than that, and I'll give election results, which are still unofficial, on Wednesday in case the numbers change. But I think our final numbers are due or received from the county on the 20th of November. So I'll report unofficial on Wednesday, and then December I'll state the official results. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. We'll move to the board action items, B101 through B103. Does anybody have any questions, statements, discussion?
Any board members first before I go?
Give me a second to pull it up, please.
Okay. Minister Crotty, I guess you can go in the meantime.
Okay. Okay, I had to review the minutes, was brought to my attention, probably some possible misvoting or whatever you want to call it for the minutes. We had pulled the September 16th minutes off the October agenda to review that. I went back the whole year. We we have two board members that spouses work in the district. So I went back and looked at any payroll checks, that they abstained from, and any other kind of appointments or workshops where their spouses, supervisors were also being approved for something. So what I found was there were two items. In March 11th, Mr. Laurentino voted for a workshop that Ms. Wonder was attending. He should abstain from that. And then the same thing on September 16th. It didn't change the outcome of the vote because the motion passed unanimously. So I was speaking with our board attorney, and she recommended that we discuss this now. And then for Wednesday, I would put on the agenda, I guess I put back March 11th, and I'll have the 16th on as well, with a correction for those two items that Mr. Laurentino will be abstaining from the workshop for Ms. Wonder. All payroll checks both members had abstained from properly. So those are the only two things that I found after my review. So again, for B101, we're going to add March 11th on as well to revote on it. It'll be as amended, and same with September 16th. Any questions on that?
No, thank you very much. Any other questions, comments, discussion on the board action items? Seeing none, we'll move to education and curriculum, which is covering E98 through and E99. Are there any questions, comments on that section? Seeing none, we'll move to finance, budget, and facilities. F355 through F363. Does anybody have any questions, comments on any of those items?
Yes, through the chair. It said that there was a committee meeting, but everything was not available. What is that, like the date and people, was there a meeting with?
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Akamoto. I just gave an update. Instead of giving it to the committee, just with all the things that are going on, I just figured, let me just give an update. I put it out as a committee report, just so I had something there, but I gave each category with some updated items. That was,
okay.
that was really it. There was no meeting set up. I think the email was sufficient to do, but if we need to meet, we'll be meeting soon.
Okay, thank you.
So on that note, two of the items I had on there, F360 was a budget parameters and budget calendar. This is an annual item that we have, just so it's shared with the board on, how we're going to, an overall, how we're going to build the budget, and also the tentative calendar, which, could change in this crazy year, but at least I gave an outline of what it's been in the past. We will start building that budget, this month and next month with the administrators, and then in January, we'll start meeting with the committee to start reviewing the budget, which is just coming around the corner.
Okay. I'm sorry, Ray, I had one question. I don't know if I'm not sure if I bring it up now or later, but I'll ask you now, and then you could, with the healthcare, do I bring it up now to ask you a question about it, or is that, I know you had something in the email about it, how you let them enroll?
I just updated. Yeah, and the committee report was just, it's not one of the agenda items. I could state it now. We just had that open enrollment, which was statewide. If whoever's in whatever districts are in the state health benefit plan, it was an active enrollment period. Usually it's open enrollment for any changes that an employee wants to make, but this was an active one where you had to select the plan or else you were put into this new plan.
Now, would that be, I'm sorry, like I know ours, when I was working, it was equal or better. Is that the same with you guys or no?
Well, yeah, but we're in the state health benefits, so they're controlling. If you remember, several years ago, they got rid of a couple plans and condensed stuff. They got rid of the traditional plan back then. It was called traditional, and they made the changes. In our contract, we do have language that we will follow, whatever the state plan is. We don't have a mechanism where we'll go outside. You have to bargain for that. If we went outside the state plan, then we would have to make the benefits equal to or better.
Oh, okay, because being that it's a state plan, it doesn't have to be equal to or better?
Well, they made a change. The plans are equal to. The employees can select that. There was no mandate that they had to go. Just new employees had to go,
Yeah,
brand new this July. Anybody hired after July 1 had to go into this new plan. Everybody else, that's why it was an active enrollment. You were going to move there automatically by the state unless you submit an application that said you wanted this other plan, or the plan you had. So employees didn't lose anything. I said it was just the new ones that, and then the other ones had the option to, maybe save some money in their paycheck. This was backed by the NJEA. This plan.
okay.
Again, it was from the state, and we tried to share whatever documents we had with the employees to make their best decision.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Sure. And I think that concludes everything on the agenda here.
Okay, just one quick note on F360. My exhibit link does not work on that item.
For both the parameters on the calendar?
I think
Which
it's
one?
just the parameters. I didn't try the calendar, honestly.
All right, we'll check them and we'll make sure they're,
I'll check that. I'll see if it's
hey,
Gina.
who's that? Who's that butted into the meeting?
I can check the settings on that.
Mine
Thank you.
opens up.
It might just be my computer.
Okay.
Yeah, mine opened up too.
Well, if you have trouble, Steve, I could email it to you too.
Okay, I'll let you know tomorrow. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, no other questions on finance, budget, and facilities section? I don't believe we have anything on policy this month. Do we have anything on negotiations, Ms. Mahoney? Thank you. We will do personnel in closed. And that takes us let's see, sorry, lost my spot. Do we have any committee reports at this point? Correspondence? Old business? New business?
Through the chair, I guess it's new business. Moving forward, are we going to have committee meetings via Zoom or?
I think, go ahead.
I
Ms.
think
Mahoney.
you're muted, Danielle.
Yes, I'm definitely planning a policy committee coming up because we have some mandated policies we have to do.
And the same with budget. I mean, budget finance will, if we don't meet in December, we'll definitely start meeting in, January with the budget, but we might try to squeeze one in December.
Any other new business?
Thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion to open the
Wait,
meeting?
wait, 1 minute, Steve.
Oh, yes,
There is under new business recommendation to conduct a closed session on December 9th from 6 to 7. Is that something we're going to discuss now or is that a
We
workshop?
could discuss it now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was listed on the 18th, really, but yeah, okay.
It was listed, that's okay. But so we have only one meeting in the month of December. So we were thinking asking the board if you wanted to maybe start at 6 and have a closed session first and then have our public session at 7 because we only have one meeting that month.
Okay.
is anybody opposed to that?
The only thing I oppose to is possibly the time because it depends on how much is on the agenda, whether we can cover it all in an hour for closed.
Okay.
Well, and you definitely could, again, December meetings, the history of them have been relatively short and quick. Everybody's in the holiday spirit. But we can just make sure for time-wise that we deal with all the agenda items first. Again, like you said, Ms. Ottarelli, like depending on how many items are on there, we should be fine for that hour. We could always go back into closed if we had to talk about other items that are not on the agenda. So I said, the way December meetings have been, I think this, it should be relatively easy to do. As long as everybody can make it at 6. Is everybody good with 6 o'clock if we change that?
It's fine with me.
I'm seeing the majority, yes.
What date did you say, Ray?
On December 9th it is, right? Sorry. Our board meeting is scheduled for December 9th. So we're starting the open meeting, the regular, the public part at 7. We want a meeting closed from 6 to 7 to discuss any closed session personnel items. Okay? So I'll just advertise for that, but for the public, it's still starting at 7. We're not starting earlier.
Okay, thank you. Any other items? Yes.
You skipped right over liaisons reports.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Do we have
No,
any
that's
liaison
okay.
reports?
I just have a real quick one. I just want to put out a reminder for the middle school, high school PTO. Next Monday, the 23rd at 7 o'clock will be their meeting via Zoom. And Mr. Meisch sent out the link today and another day to all of the middle school, high school parents. So please look for it in your email that he sent out this week, just giving us reminders of everything that's happening this week, and also to the link for the meeting.
Thank you very much. Are there any other liaison reports? Okay, seeing none. May I have a motion to open the meeting for public comment?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so while I read this paragraph, if you go to the bottom center of your Zoom panel, you should see a way to raise a hand. Click on that, and then you see a hand raise. Mr. Crotty will then call on you when he sees your hand and unmute your mic so that you may speak. Residents are requested to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments.
Okay, first we have Jennifer Wynn.
Excuse me.
Hi, Jennifer Ween, 400B Saddle River Road. About a month ago, almost a month ago, there was a special meeting. It was held, and within the next couple of days, there was supposed to be this magic committee formed to solve a problem that was created by only one option being presented to the board for before and after care. Well, here we are almost a month later. I received a survey for the very first time today, asking me what I liked about having outsourcing before and after care to an off-site place, and whether I felt AlphaBest should be presented to the board again. No place for comment, no place for, a discussion about bringing it back in-house, no, nothing. Almost a month later, there's no solution being presented to the board on the agenda tonight. I'd like to know what's being done. This committee was supposed to be started the Monday after that last meeting, and it has not happened yet because you're just asking for when is the best time for meetings now.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my mute button. So, Mrs. Ween, we asked for people who were interested in being members of the committee. And yes, the survey that you received did give you the opportunity on each of those questions to make any comments that you would like. Those were the options that we have been looking into. So we have, just so that you know, before the Alpha Best presentation went before the board, we did discuss the possibility of maybe busing students to an off-site location. So we're asking the parents, is that something that they want? Initially, the board didn't think that was a great idea. And so we asked the parents, is that something that you want? We also had a parent reach out to us on multiple occasions and ask, could we please ask the parents how they felt about Alpha Best? The board said, yes, go ahead, and you can survey the parents. And so I surveyed the parents. I don't know why today is the first time that you received that. I sent that out more than a week ago. I was looking to make sure that everybody responded. So, and there were places for you to put comments. No, the committee hasn't met yet because the committee is for the long-term planning piece. So we understand that our options right now are limited. And the long-term planning piece is what do we want this to look like in September? And I have about 20 people who are interested in being on that committee. So that is where we are. We have communicated with the Boys and Girls Club, with the YMCA, and I've spoken with the mayor, possibility of maybe the rec department taking over the program, but they can't do that immediately. So what I presented to you in that survey were some immediate options. We could immediately bus students from the Boys and Girls Club and or the YMCA to the school if the parents were willing to drop the children off there. That is something we could do in the immediate. And revisiting Alpha Best is something we could do in the immediate. The other options that the committee could work on when they talk about long-term what they want the program to look like is a more in-depth conversation. So Mr. Karate and I have had many conversations with outside, vendors to try to see where we could go with this.
You keep saying we. Who is we?
Mr. Karate and I talk to people for the immediate because the immediate options are very limited, as we've explained before.
Yeah, but this committee, you said in that meeting about a month ago that committee was going to start right away digging in. And like I said, it has now been almost a whole month and there is still no solution for the families of this town.
I understand.
Tonight, you should be presenting an option to this board to vote on tonight. There's no excuse for not having something a month
I will be
later.
talking to the board in closed session. There's no action being taken tonight.
It's a major failure.
Okay, next we have Sarah Malnicki.
Hi, Sarah Milnicki, 102 Claremont Ave. I have two questions. One is to piggyback off of Ms. Sween. I didn't get a survey at all. Was it to all parents or was it for just people chosen to be on the committee?
No, the survey went to the current champions, the parents who are currently using champions. Because we're asking them about an immediate option. So I wanted them to tell us what they wanted for their children. Not for the long-term solution, just for right now.
Okay. I just currently, because I was working from home, I didn't need it. But if I go back, I'm supposed to be going back Monday. I don't have, that's something I might have needed. So maybe it should have gone to anybody that would need aftercare.
Well, the opportunity to participate in the conversation can go to anyone. But right now, we were just talking about, for right now, are these options that you would be comfortable with? So that's what you're asking.
Okay. And then my other question is, I know things are always changing with the COVID rules and, something 2 months ago is different than something 2 days ago. I just have a question. So my child does not have it. I'm just going to give the example. So if my child came down with symptoms on Saturday, the 14th, and I do the right thing. I tell the school, I email the school immediately, and then an email has to go out because now you have to contact trace. Would the email say he was asymptomatic on Thursday and Friday when he was in school?
Well, okay, so there are a lot of layers to this.
Okay.
When you said your son started symptoms on 11/14.
Yeah, which he does not. I just.
No. I'm just saying example. A child.
Okay.
Symptoms on 11/14. Was he tested on 11/14? Do we know that he's positive?
He has symptoms and I go for testing that day, but I don't get my results yet.
So until you get your results, we do nothing.
Okay, so then if
So-
he's positive on
You would
Sunday,
say, I would say to you, keep your child
of
home
course,
until, no, this is what I would say. Keep your child home until we have a result. Once we have a result, then we start looking at either the day that the child tested positive or the first onset of symptoms and look back 48 hours. So if he tests positive on the 17th, but we know he had symptoms on the 14th, we look back 48 hours to the 12th and we say, where was he on the 12th? Was he in school? Was he in class? Did he come into contact? If he was in class on the 12th, then I would isolate that classroom.
okay.
In general, that's generally how it goes. It's a 48-hour look back
Right.
from either the onset of symptoms or the positive test for an asymptomatic person.
Okay, I've seen, I understand we're staying open. I'm not saying anyone needs to close. I just see everybody else seems to be around us. My own job, we've opened, we've closed, we open, we close, you know, and everything. And I just was concerned if everything was being followed correctly, because every single email, the few I've gotten, because the few I've gotten will say asymptomatic. So I was just concerned how it was working. So that's all. Thank you.
So that's how that works. And every time we have a case, we call the county. We have to call the county health department. We report it. We go over the details of it, and they tell us, they ask us lots of questions. We get the principal involved if we need to, and we make sure that we answer all of the questions thoroughly and make sure that we isolate or shut down or whatever we need to do.
Okay, the county said you don't have to, not you, but that the school districts don't have to actually listen to the county. They can only make recommendations.
They make a recommendation, but I would not
Okay.
follow their recommendation.
Okay.
We've been advised by the county superintendent to follow the guidance of the health department.
Mhm.
They said get it in writing and do what they tell you to do.
All right, thank you.
I currently don't see any more hands up right now. Oh, wait, we got one. Jessica Corinne?
Hi, Jessica Crahin, 36 Nedlick Drive. I'm just curious on how long you have to wait for an email to come out when there's a positive case in the school system.
Okay, that's a good question. So generally what we do is if in the event we have a situation where people have to quarantine, and we have parents that we have to call individually, we get in touch with all of the parents, hopefully before the end of the working day, and then we send out the email at night. We don't want the community to get the email before the parents of the students who have had direct contact have been notified, but it's always within the day. If at the very latest, it would be tomorrow morning, for example. But it's usually within that same day.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. But there's no specific guidance on that, but that's just what I follow because I want people to know.
Do we have anyone else, Mr. Crotty?
I don't see any other hands up. Anybody else wishing to speak? Oh. Looks like that's it.
Okay, may I have a motion to close for public comment? Second? I believe it's Vincent. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, public comment is closed. We will now be moving into closed session. Need a motion for that. To recess to close executive session to discuss personnel and matters covered by attorney-client privilege for NJS 10-4-6, Open Public Meetings Act. Subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. No action will be taken after closed. May I have a motion to go into closed?
Motion,
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
definitely.
Any opposed? Okay, and now we can I have a motion to adjourn the regular meeting because we will not be reconvening in open afterwards.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you all very much for coming. The public session of this is closed. We'll now go into closed. It is 7:32. Let's try and be back by 7:38.